Stop. The airline is banking on your ignorance. Right now, algorithms intentionally separate 60% of couples just to extort a $90 fee. That on-time status? Often a lie while your plane is still 3 states away. Don't be a victim of a system designed to drain your wallet. I'm going to show you how to turn a boarding delay into a $1,300 cash payday and how to navigate the terminal like a pro. These are the rules they do not want you to know. Here is Rule 1 of 12. 60% of travelers ignore the one measurement that causes the most stress at the gate. Ethan, a 26-year-old architect, arrived at Rome FCO with his trusted carry-on. He had used it for years. But the gate agent, Sarah, pointed to the metal sizer. Ethan pushed. He shoved. The bag stuck because of the wheels. The airline won't tell you this, but those extra 2 inches turn a free bag into a $100 penalty instantly. Ethan fumbled with his credit card while the line watched. Don't let this be you. Always measure your bag from the floor to the very top of the handle. Sizers are exactly 22 by 14 by 9 inches. If the wheels or the handle stick out even half an inch, you pay the price. This is the trap. Ethan paid the fee, but he learned his lesson. Cheap bag, expensive mistake. You just saved $100 by checking your wheels. But a perfect bag won't help you when you're stuck in the middle seat. Let's move on to Rule 2 of 12. Check your baggage fees online at least 24 hours before you leave. Gabriel, a 43-year-old accountant, learned this the hard way at Orlando MCO. He thought paying at the counter was simpler and more personal. He was wrong. The agent dropped a bomb. $60 per bag. That was exactly double the online rate he saw the night before. The airline banks on your last-minute panic to pad their quarterly profits. Stop letting them overcharge you for convenience. Log into the airline app the day before your flight. Most carriers offer deep discounts for prepaying because it speeds up the airport process. Gabriel could have saved $60 with 3 taps on his screen. Reality check. App prices are always lower than the at-gate penalty. Small prep, better trip. Gabriel walked away looking frustrated, but you don't have to. Saving money on bags is great, but Rule 3 is about the weight limits that catch even the pros. Rule 3 of 12 is about the hidden weight buffer. James, a 31-year-old teacher, stood at the check-in counter at Barcelona BCN feeling confident. Back home, his digital scale read exactly 50 pounds. He was perfect. But when he placed his suitcase on the airline scale, the red numbers flashed a chilling 52 pounds. "You are over the limit," the agent said coldly. James felt his face flush as he had to open his suitcase in the middle of the crowded terminal. The airline won't tell you this, but airport scales are calibrated, yet far from perfect. Even a 2% margin of error turns your legal bag into a $100 penalty. They are banking on your ignorance of these mechanical variances. To avoid this public humiliation, never aim for the 50-pound limit. Always aim for 48 pounds to give yourself a safety buffer. James had to pull out 3 heavy sweaters while the entire line watched him struggle. He made the weight, but the stress was not worth the risk. He won the battle, but lost his dignity that day. Heavy luggage is a headache, but the next rule is about a high-tech change at the gate. Rule 4 of 12 changes the way you walk through the gate. Did you know that in many U.S. airports, you do not even need to show your boarding pass anymore? Elizabeth, a 52-year-old photographer, was flying out of Austin, AUS. She had her phone ready with the screen brightness turned all the way up. But the agent pointed at a camera lens instead of a scanner. Elizabeth froze. Confusion set in as the line behind her grew restless and started whispering. They are banking on your confusion to force these biometric changes without a clear explanation. Look for the floor markers and face the camera directly for 3 seconds. If the camera fails, or if you prefer your privacy, simply say, "I would like to use my mobile pass for a manual check." They allow this, but they do not advertise it. Elizabeth's delay cost her 10 minutes of her life and plenty of glares from business travelers. Face scans are fast, but glitches happen every single day. Master the gate and save your time. You saved 10 minutes, but that is nothing compared to the nightmare of being separated from your travel partner. For Rule 5 of 12, we are looking at the seating chart. Over 60% of couples on basic economy tickets are now being intentionally separated by seating algorithms. It is not a glitch in the software. It is a profit strategy. Harper, a 29-year-old graphic designer, arrived at Charlotte CLT expecting a cozy flight with her boyfriend. Instead, the system put her in 12B and her partner in 31E. The airline wanted $90 to fix their own mistake. They are banking on your separation anxiety. Stop. Do not pay that fee. Here's the pro move for the next time you book. Select the window and the aisle seat in an empty row near the back. Solo travelers avoid middle seats at all costs. If the flight isn't packed, you often get the whole row for free. If a stranger actually sits there, just offer them your aisle or window seat. Almost every traveler will jump at the chance to escape the middle. It is a win-win for everyone involved. Reality check. Full flights happen, but this strategy gives you the best statistical odds. You saved the row, but wait until you see how to handle your liquids at security. Rule 6 of 12 covers your health on board and in the line. Check your medicine cabinet before heading to the airport. Penelope, a 37-year-old nurse, stood in the TSA line at Dallas DFW, feeling pure panic. She was clutching a 12-ounce bottle of specialized prescription skin wash. The 3.4-ounce rule flashed in her mind like a red warning light. They are banking on your ignorance of the fine print. Stop. Do not toss your expensive medicine in the bin. Most travelers do not realize the TSA allows medically necessary liquids in large volumes. You just have to declare it to the officer before the screening starts. They will likely perform a quick vapor test or a specialized X-ray on the bottle. It is a standard practice that takes less than 2 minutes. Penelope kept her medicine and her cool because she knew the rule. Reality check. This is not a loophole for a giant bottle of soda. It must be a reasonable amount for your specific flight. Politeness always helps the process move faster. You saved your meds, but that is nothing compared to the miles you might have to walk in the terminal. Rule 7 of 12 is the terminal shortcut you need. Carter, a 48-year-old financial advisor, stood in Atlanta ATL staring at his boarding pass. His gate was over a mile away in another concourse. For a man with a bad knee, this was a physical nightmare. He felt completely overwhelmed by the crowd. Most people think you need a permanent disability or a wheelchair to get help. That is wrong. The airline won't tell you this, but Electric cart assistance is for anyone who cannot comfortably make the trek. You do not need a doctor's note or a permit. Carter requested a cart at the information desk and was zipping past the crowds in minutes. You can book this online during check-in or just ask at the desk. They are banking on your pride, keeping you from asking for help. Don't be a victim of your own ego. Reality check. You might have to wait 10 minutes for a driver, but Carter made his flight without pain. Assistance is your right as a passenger. It saved his entire trip. But even a ride won't help if you are starving on the plane. Rule 8 of 12 will feed you first. Have you ever sat in seat 34B, stomach growling, while the food cart slowly inches its way down the aisle from row 1? Luke, a 22-year-old student, found himself in this nightmare at Seattle SEA last month. He had been traveling for 6 hours and had not eaten a real meal since 7 a.m. By the time the attendant reached his row, the hot pasta was completely gone. The airline won't tell you this, but they hope you don't know the meal hack. The fix is incredibly simple. When you are booking your flight, look for the special meal request section in your profile. Whether you choose a kosher, vegan, or low-sodium meal, these trays are prepared and loaded separately from the standard fare. Because they require special handling, flight attendants usually serve them before the general cabin service begins. Often, you will be finishing your hot dinner before your neighbor even gets a cup of water. Luke learned to request it 24 hours before his flight. Hunger is a choice. But hunger is nothing compared to being lied to by a departure screen. Rule 9 of 12 reveals the lie on the screen. Airlines often maintain a fake on-time status even when they know your plane is stuck in another state. In Cleveland, CLE, Oliver, a 55-year-old engineer, sat watching the monitor for his flight. The screen flashed a reassuring green color. On time. But Oliver looked around the gate area. There was no plane. There was no crew. The gate was ghost town quiet. The airline won't tell you this, but they often wait until the very last second to update the board to keep you from leaving the gate. They want you standing there, even if the aircraft is 3 states away. Oliver did not wait for the official update. He opened a free tracking app called Flight Radar 24 and typed in his flight number. He saw the truth immediately. His plane was still sitting on the tarmac in Chicago. He saw the delay 30 minutes before the pilot announced it. Oliver grabbed a relaxed dinner while others stayed glued to a lying screen. The system is rigged to keep you in the terminal. Knowledge is power. Rule 10 of 12 is the $1,300 payday. Demand your money the moment they say you were bumped from a flight. Henry, a 61-year-old lawyer, was at a gate at London LHR, clutching a boarding pass for a 10-hour flight back to the States. The agent looked him in the eye and said the flight was overbooked. Henry was out. They handed him a small $100 voucher as a gesture of goodwill. Most people take the voucher and walk away. Do not be that person. They are banking on your ignorance of federal law. If you are bumped against your will on a U.S. carrier, the airline often owes you 4 times your fare in real cash. That can be up to $1,300 or more, depending on the ticket price. Ask for the money, not the credit. Henry spoke up firmly. He declined the voucher and asked for a check. 20 minutes of paperwork later, he had the money in his hand. He did not lose his seat. He won the game. Subscribe to beat the system. But cash won't matter if you cannot find a place to charge your phone.
Rule 11 of 12 finds your peace in the chaos. Chloe, a 33-year-old real estate agent, stood in the middle of Helsinki HEL, feeling the terminal walls close in on her. The high-pitched hum of the lights and the sharp scent of jet fuel made her head spin. Her phone was at 1%, and every charging station near her gate was a crowded battleground. But Chloe had a secret weapon.
She pulled up a specialized airport map and found a hidden quiet zone near Gate 37, tucked behind a nondescript service door. While the main terminal was packed like a sardine can, this spot was a ghost town with plush lounge chairs and empty outlets. The airline won't tell you this because they prefer you stay in the high-traffic commercial zones, where you are tempted to spend $50 on snacks and magazines. Chloe plugged in, stretched out, and enjoyed 3 hours of total silence while others suffered in the noise. Silence is a luxury, but you have to know where to find it. Rule 12 of 12 is the final clock. Ever stood by a silent luggage carousel at 11:30 p.m., watching the minutes tick past? Mateo, a 39-year-old software developer, just landed at Minneapolis MSP after a grueling workday. The carousel sat motionless for 15 minutes. Most people just scroll through their phones and wait. But that is exactly what the airlines want you to do. They bank on your late-night fatigue. Here is the final fix. Major carriers like Delta and Alaska have a 20-minute bag guarantee. If your suitcase isn't out within 20 minutes of the cabin door opening, they may owe you 2,500 miles or a $25 voucher. Mateo did not just stand there. He took a screenshot of the arrival time and a photo of the empty belt. He filed the claim right there on his phone using the airline's mobile app. It is not a magic trick, and it is never automatic. You have to speak up and hold them accountable to their own rules. If you do not know these rules, the airport will take your money every single time. Knowledge is your boarding pass to luxury. Subscribe to claim your seat and beat the system.